All right, so the Burger King challenge, this one was kind of interesting because it wasn't really a planned one. It was something I had to come up with kind of at the spur of the moment, just because the challenge I wanted to do at this point was the Richie B's Monster Slice. And I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And first and foremost, because I didn't really have the editing skills or say the cinematography, which I got this video later on, and it was with a good friend of mine. So I'm kind of glad it worked out that way. It just so happened that Richie B's, when I went to go do the challenge, I was finally ready. I'd been thinking about it for a few months of just downing this monster slice as fast as I could, and I'll talk about that when we get to that video. But they had a sign that said they had ran out of cheese. I was like, what pizza place runs out of cheese? So I had to come up with something super quick, and that's what I decided to do, was run to Burger King and do some sort of speed eating. And I know from competitive eating, I'd watched a number of people do, where they do the value menus, just a bunch of items. I said, this is something I can give a try. It's something, I had like, I don't know, 30 minutes or something before I had somewhere to be. I think it was volleyball that night. So either way, I had to take this on, and let's just kind of tune into this video really fast and, get some quick notes on it. In the end, what this video, interestingly enough, like it was another public place I had to do a challenge at, and it was something that I was trying to get more comfortable with, just doing these things out and about. I'd watched it a lot, and the first thing I kind of noticed is that people don't generally film out and about. So it's something that definitely took time, as I got, deeper into this process and deeper into these challenges, that I had to just, overcome that fear and anxiety, because I would have, like, where am I going to set up my camera? Who's going to be looking at me? Am I going to have bad footage, or is the audio? And really, at the end of the day, this is kind of really the point of this video, is the timer. It was something that I was working at, getting faster at eating, but also that in my life in general, like fitting challenges into my time was challenging, just because we had so many other things going on. So as I kept going forth, through these, and we'll talk about that too, is how, I wasn't always able to do a challenge when it was planned. And I would, build up to something, and then something else would happen, and then I'd have to make an adjustment. And that happened a lot of times. And so it was just something I dealt with, and I had to be adaptable and flexible. And just knowing that, if I wasn't able to do something today, then I could do it another time. So I'd have to constantly move all these challenges around that I'd planned. If something didn't happen, maybe take another one and do it now, or do a different one later. And this is a great example of a time I just had to modify and, on the fly, come up with something to make a video. And that was really the point of all this, is I had deadlines for, 2 a week. I just want to make sure I had 2 videos a week. That was kind of my standard at this point, to just make sure I had enough content to, start drawing in an audience. I feel like 1 video a week is good. If you're a really good content maker, you could do 1 video per week and people kind of look forward to it. But I was like trying to just find my own, say, style and flavor in this. And you can tell my editing, nothing had really changed at this point. I'm still using fast forward, to go through the meals, just to make sure the videos are compressed. So it's one of those things that it was a learning process. And this was, a video. It just kind of, there was nothing impressive about it. You can't even really call it a win. I guess in some senses you could, that I finished the food, but it was really all about just making a video at this point. And that's when I started realizing that, there's just times when I can't do a food challenge, but I have to make a video. And so I kind of learned that lesson in this one, that, I have to adapt when I needed to. So that's pretty much the basis of this one. And it obviously it could have been done a lot better, knowing what I know now. Yeah, a lot of good stuff that I'm learning in this process, as I'm going through these each week. And since I'm doing 2 per week, it's just trying to figure out how to make them work, how to make them fit in. And they didn't always go to plan. So that was kind of something that I had to adapt and be flexible to. And so that's kind of the most important thing as I kept going through this. Thing I'm very thankful of is that I didn't do the Richie B's, because I had another opportunity to do it down the road, and it was actually another spontaneous time when I didn't expect it. So we'll talk about that one when we get to it. So on pizza, you could tell it was already in my list. That's kind of one of the, I guess, a foresight in this one, is to try a slice and speed eat it, just see what I could do, see what I could get for time, and anticipation of that one to come. So it was a way I could practice it. And that was something I started learning too, is like, maybe it'd be nice if I could practice this stuff before actually doing it, for for the camera, like I've said before. So till the next episode, take care. Peace out.